17 at 6:21 p.m. I do apologize for the wait. A lot of the senators have class, and some will be coming around 6:30 as well. But we'll move on to a roll call.
President Pro Tem Corley.
Here.
Chair Senator Ara.
Here.
Chair Senator Chen. Chair Senator Cole.
He is ready.
Chair Senator Cortez Hernandez.
Here.
Chair Senator Fan.
He has class until 6:30.
Chair Senator Javier.
He will be tardy.
Chair Senator Jimenez.
Here.
Chair Senator Casey.
She has class until 6:30.
Chair Senator Enzaribe. Chair Senator Reyes.
Here.
Chair Senator Moore. Or Sinas, sorry. Sinas.
Here.
Sinas Senator Noonan.
She has internship until 7.
Sinas Senator Young.
Class until 6:30, please.
OE Senator Cato. ECOE Senator Devon.
Here.
Perfect. We do have quorum. We have 9 members present, and our 10th senator is present. Okay, so moving on to the next item of the agenda, which is approval of Senate meeting minutes number 5 during fall quarter, which was our last meeting. The minutes will be passed around. Please do read through it, those that did present, and just to make sure that there are any corrections or recommendations on the minutes. Moving on to the next item, which is ex officio report. At this time, if you have an announcement. Oh, I skipped the approval of the agenda. I do apologize, Jonathan. I need you to know. But before you start, we will do the approval of the agenda first. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda here? Thank you, Senator Ira. Can I get a second? Second by Senator Javier. All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? With a vote of 10-0-0, motion passes. Okay, moving on to ex officio reports. You can take it away.
Okay, so I'm going to start passing these flyers around to you all, but I'll explain what's on them. So hi, I'm Jonathan from the LGBT Resource Center. So I've been passing around 2 flyers. I have a third one that we didn't have enough of. We have a lot of events going on next week. I don't know, actually January 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. It's a film screening of Mind Game, the unquiet journey of Shanique Holtzclaw, she's a professional WNBA basketball player and an Olympian gold medalist. And it's about her struggle with mental illness and her message of hope and help as a leading mental health advocate. I believe she will be there in person. Yes, she will. And that is January 24th from 6 to 8 p.m. And then we have Presente Conference coming up on February 3rd and 4th. It's a conference for queer and trans, college identifying Latinx, Chicanx, POC folks who self-identify with the Latin, South Central American diaspora and or as brown or indigenous. Registration has been extended. I believe you have until the 25th to apply to register and still receive a t-shirt, but if you do so after this point, you will not get one. There's a lot of fun people coming up for that. Friday, February 3rd, it's open to all. There will be a film screening of Raising Zoe, which is about 13-year-old Zoe who, with the help of her mother and Lisa, will offer her right to self-identify as a rebel for school. And after that, we will have a performance by queer artist A.B. Soto. And then the next day is the conference, which is closed to only attendees. And then later that month, February 21st and 25th, we have the 3rd annual Asterisk Conference, which is, it's about building community for trans people and their allies, addressing trans health and well-being, and providing education and resources for trans youth and advocates. This conference is open to all that may attend, although there may be closed spaces for only those that fit the identity. I definitely recommend you check it out or volunteer for it. We have volunteer signups in the center. Feel free to stop by or send an email or phone call. Yeah.
Perfect. Are there any questions? Thank you so much.
Hello. My name is Paula. I'm from the document programs. I'll also be presenting on behalf of the document programs because they can be here. But first, the document programs. This Friday, we'll be holding our second document circle. It's a closed space for our document students, just to kind of talk about with the inauguration going on, just talk about the tensions that are going on, and just have that space So that will be this Friday, January 20th, from 12 to 2 p.m. in Hub 379. If you are undocumented, please come check it out. I am reiterating it's in closed space, just simply because of all the concerns currently that are happening. Second of all, we'll be with the deadline for the California Grant coming up. We have a series of workshops in which we help students prepare for that. Just remember that if you need to apply for the California Grant, we have resources for that. So Wednesday, February 1st from 11 to 12, Thursday, February 9th from 2 to 3, Tuesday, February 14th from 1 to 2, and Thursday, February 23rd from 3 to 4. We will have workshops in undocumented programs, cost about 224, where you can bring your laptop in, bring your tax stuff in, and we'll help you fill all paperwork out. So that's cool. Make sure that you get that in before March 2nd. Now for Chicano student programs, any questions about undocumented programs? For our Chicano student programs, they currently have a contest going on right now. If you follow all their social media, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and direct message them using the screenshots to be entered into a raffle for the chance to win Ramon Ayala or Camila tickets. You have to do all those things to win those tickets, and it'll be a raffle. And it's continuous, so even if you win one ticket for Ramon Ayala, you still win the tickets later on. So it doesn't winning one does not disqualify you to get the other. Also this Friday, again with everything going on, Chicano Student Programs is hosting an inauguration check-in. So snacks and self-care activities, counselor on site from 2 to 4:30 p.m. In Coastal Hall, 145 to Chicano Student Programs. So check it out. Lots of these kind of self-care. There's going to be a lot about self-care for folks. So check it out. Chicano Student Programs from 2 to 4:30 p.m.
Thank you. Any questions? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tina. I'm here from the Student Center, and there's a lot happening right now. So every Tuesday we have Mess Cafe from 11 to 12 p.m., which is basically like a political circle where we have full discussions. Women's Circle are Tuesdays from 12 to 1 p.m., and Men's Circle is Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. And our MESC Success Week, sorry, give me a sec. We have MESC Success Week this upcoming week. So Monday, 2:16 from 2 to 4 p.m. We have a CV letter resume workshop. Tuesday, 2:16 from 2 to 4 p.m. It's a social media email LinkedIn workshop. You can look at the rest of our info on our social media. And this Monday, there's a really cool event that's going to be co-sponsored by Black Lives Matter IE. It's called No Child Behind Bars, Living Resistance from the U.S. to Palestine. And it's from 11:40 to 12:30 p.m. in UV Theater 10. It's going to be part of the Intro to African American Studies lecture. So it should be really dope, and you all should check it out. And that's it.
That's next Monday?
This upcoming Monday.
This upcoming Monday.
Yeah.
Any questions? No, thank you so much. Nina. Any other ex officio reports?
One more announcement from Chicano Student Programs. They have their annual Emoze coming up. That will be Friday, February 10th from 10:30 to 10. It starts at 10:30 p.m. So basically, a team of 6, first 12 teams to register, get a spot to turn it. It's really fun, one night. Check it out, Chicano Student Programs.
Thank you. Okay. We'll be moving on to the next item on our agenda, which is public forum. At this time, if you have something to address to the Senate, please do so. We would love to hear your recommendations, questions, concerns.
Good evening, everybody. How's it going? Hi. So I am so excited that meetings have started for the winter quarter, and I hope you all are having a great start so far to the academic term. So, but I hate to start it on a horrible note by saying that the UC Regents have proposed a tuition increase for the upcoming year of about $282, which although might not seem a lot for people that are dependent on loans and struggling already to survive for the university, that's a lot of money. And so UCSA, the UC Student Association, is responding to this by creating a campaign called Fund the UC. And so through that, we're advocating for Prop 13 reform, which would basically say that we want large corporations to pay income taxes so that we can funnel that funding into public higher education. So no longer the conversation becomes like, oh, the UC has to pay tuition because the state's not investing, because then we'll finally have enough money to invest in education, right? And so I have these petitions that I'm just going to give you all. If you feel so inclined to sign, I would just ask for your email, your phone number, and then there's a cute little box you can check if you want to get involved. Or you can just talk to me if you have any more questions about what Prop 13 is, what we're trying to do, and how you can be involved in it as a part of the conversation. So, any questions?
I just wanted to add also our external affairs ASUCR is also taking a group of students, including Senator Ira, down to San Francisco, I believe next week, to the UC Regents to protest against the tuition hike as well. So hopefully we'll have more update when that occurs. So thank you so much for bringing this up to our attention. Hopefully it is passing around and we will definitely sign in support.
Awesome. And then just as a final note, like 2017 will be the year of the student. I claimed it on January 1st, and like now there's just too much at stake for us to remain apathetic. Whether it's tuition hikes or a crazy new Department of Education secretary, we want to make sure that we are remaining vigilant and that we're remaining active and that we organize like our life depends on it, right? So thank you all.
Thank you. Any other members? Yes.
Hey guys, my name's Caleb. I usually sign in, but there's no time. I'm the Hopper campus organizer. I just wanted to give you guys an update. So we're in the middle of our recruitment drive. Our kickoff meeting is next Tuesday in physics, 2200 at 6 o'clock. We are working on some major campaigns. One, working to stop global warming in two ways. One, working with the UCs to go 100% renewable. Two, we are working to ban fracking here in California. We're building a coalition of 200 student groups across the state for the Students Against Fracking Coalition, which is going to end with a huge lobby day this March. I invite y'all to attend. It's going to be pretty fantastic. We're also working to expand open educational resources and expand their use. And also to continue partnering with the R Pantry to fight hunger and homelessness on campus. After our kickoff meeting, we're going to have a big tampon drive. Sanitary items are some of the most needed items, but often some of the least donated. So that's something that we're working to do. If you have any questions about that, or want to get involved in the Students Against Fracking Coalition, our hunger work, or expanding textbooks, please let me know.
Thank you. Any questions?
Sorry, you said you guys are doing tampons about it? What does that relation to?
So we are working to get tampons donated to be available at the art pantry, and also there's a women's shelter in Riverside. Most women that are shelterless or people that use tampons that are shelterless, some of the least donated items, and it's one of the most needed. It's a huge sanitation risk for those folks, so making sure that they have the resources they need is incredibly important.
Also, they're extremely expensive.
They are, and they're taxed.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Can I ask the senators please to sit properly at the Senate chambers? Thank you. Anyone else for public forum? Nope, we'll be moving on to committee reports, starting with our legislative review committee. We will be talking about Senate Bill, which is the general amendments to Chapter 12, and we'll have our President Pro Tem take over. Yes.
Alright, so chapter 12 amendments, it was proposed by Oscar, which is Vice President of External Affairs, and Gina, which is the current vote director. And the change for vote is changing on the vote committee to expanding more the definition, and by that, the new name will be called Civic Engagement Committee. Now let's start with the background. The Office of External Affairs has a committee called the Highlander Vote Coalition, led by a vote director, that works with other organizations to register students to vote. The bylaws task this committee with voter education as well, which is an incredibly important job. However, due to strong focus on vote registration in the coalition, the education aspect and even get out to vote aspects are often left out. How can we register students to vote without trying to cultivate their political efficacy? And what's a vote director supposed to do in a non-election year? The bylaw changes seeks to address these two issues. By changing this committee to a civic engagement committee led by a civic engagement director, we can really educate students and increase their political efficacy, which will make them lifelong informed voters. This committee will have a bigger focus on voter registration in election years and in non-election years. They will promote other forms of political participation and continue informing students on what's going on in the world and why they should care. These changes will also increase the overall efficiency of the external office by having more students who know and care about politics. By that, the amendments for Chapter 12 is as follows. Is changing highlighter vote coalition to civic engagement committee and expanding the definition, which is increasing students' political efficacy and participation through non-partisan voter education. And then moving on to changing weekly during an election year where they meet weekly. And the remaining changes are changing from vote director to civic engagement director.
Are there any questions?
I move to approve.
Okay, there's a motion on the table to approve Senate Bill number 15. Can I get a second, please? Second by Senator Juan. Any additions or recommendations at this time? Nope, we'll move this into a vote. All in favor?
When you guys put your hands up, can you keep them up for a little bit?
Are you recording the names of people who vote for certain?
Yeah.
Are you voting them?
Yeah.
Just kidding. So it's unanimous.
Are you ready?
Alright, yeah, we're good.
Okay. All opposed? Any abstentions? Nope. With a vote of 14-0-0, motion passes. And I believe that is all for the legislative committee. So moving on to finance committee, I will be presenting on their behalf. Their finance hearing was on November 29, 2016, and the opening balance was $34,194. They granted women in business $1,500 and geology students $750. So the total organization allocations was $2,250 with the closing balance for the organization contingency of $31,944. The ASUCR contingency balance was the same as the closing. It is $11,991.60. Are there questions? Nope. Can I get a motion to approve? Yes.
Also, our meetings are Friday.
10 to 1?
10 to 12.
10 to 12. So if you know any organizations that would like to be allocated any money, the meetings are Fridays from 10 to 1. Please, 10 to 12, please go to the front desk of the ASUCR office to sign up for a slot then. If there are no other comments or questions, can I please get a motion to approve the finance report?
I move to approve the finance report.
Thank you, Senator Ar. Can I get a second? Second by Senator Cole. All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? With a vote of 14-0-0, motion passes. Moving on to GCAP committee, which is our Green Campus Action Plan. Our GCAP chair was unable to attend today, so we have a member of his committee, Senator Levon, that will be presenting on his behalf.
So GCAP met earlier today, and we approved 1 green grant and 3 allocations of money from STIP. The first item is the green grant, which is for food giveaway from, organic food giveaway from Goodwins. They asked for $1,250 or $1,250, and we agreed. And then from STIP, we're buying our closet 4 hanging racks, which cost $240. They need it so they can start storing clothes, and this will help our closet get off the ground. Next, we have is $8 food vouchers for the hub, allocating $320. This is for marketing for the Master program. if you show them next week, I think it's next week, that you have the ASUCR app, they'll give you an $8 food voucher used at the hub. And then we have PCOE CNAS micro targeting campaign flyers. So just more marketing to that's $74, which comes out to a total of $1,884. I move to approve allocation.
Okay, so there's a motion on the table to approve, and that is Senator Levon. There's a second by Senator Cole. Are there any questions? So I actually have a lot of questions. Based on what was presented to us, can you just go over the allocations really quickly so we can have it in our documents and minutes as well, what was allocated, because what was sent to us did not have that information. So, what was allocated for the green grant? What was allocated for the art closet hanging rack?
$240.
Okay, it's asking, but there's no allocated. So it needs to be both asking and allocated, so we are aware and have it in our minutes that this is the correct amount. Does that sort of make sense?
So how much I believe how much they were asking what we allocated for them specifically, so.
Yeah, we just need it in, we just need to confirm.
Make an edit to that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Can I get information on what the green grant is? The green grant is something that, what I just like. So basically, GCAP gives out grants to student organizations and projects on campus that involve sustainability that students want to pursue. Goodness is an example of one, so it's our project. Basically, it's supposed to promote sustainability on campus, connect more students to GCAP and more movement on campus.
Okay, thank you so much. Was this the correct allocation? Yes, right. Okay, we're just gonna check really quickly to ensure that this is the correct allocations. Was the amount asked the correct allocations for all three of them? Yes, for sure? Okay, perfect. So for the Good Ones Organic Food Giveaway, the allocated amount was $1,250. And then for the Art Closet, it was $240, and that was the allocated amount. And for the $8 food vouchers for the hub, it is allocated as $320. And then for the micro-targeting campaign flyers for PCOE and CNAS, that is $74. Okay. Just to really quickly clarify for the hub, do you know where it will be held, where they will be giving it out?
For Goodwin's Organic, the voucher?
The vouchers for the Zacks.
I believe it's going to happen very soon, so like around.
Okay.
Wait, how do you get that?
So you should be in the ASUCR app downloaded, and we'll give you a food voucher. The ASUCR app for the free bike share program? Oh, yeah. Everyone should download the app. If you don't have the app, please download it.
Utilize it, it's around campus.
It's super cool.
Okay, perfect.
When y'all got it back,
I know how to ride a bike.
Ooh.
Okay, so moving on, there was a motion on the table by Senator Levon to approve the GCAP purchases, and there was a second by Senator Cole. We will move this now into a vote. All in favor? All opposed? Any abstentions? With a vote of 14-0-0, motion passes. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is Senator reports. We will begin with Senator Cole. Before we start though, I just wanted to remind everyone, our Senate Secretary Brianna has been sending out reminders of when to send in the reports. Please, please, please do send in by the time. It makes her life a lot easier, but it also allows us to know what you have been up to see if there is any discussion or help that you may need that we can provide. So please do send them in on time. If you are not able to, please let her know beforehand so she can work with you personally. You have all received some emails of when your reports will be, so please make sure that you are keeping up with the schedule and ensuring that everything is being sent in on time. Okay? Any questions on that? Nope. Senator Cole, take it away.
My Senate report for week 2. Yeah. every project, as a lot of you know, our year grand release is tomorrow. I only have 8 senators that are officially signed up, so I don't want to call people out, but we do definitely need more volunteers, especially for cleanup. So if you're free from 5:30 to 8, or earlier in the morning we're picking up the boxes, or even later at night, we really do need your help. This is a campaign that we all ran on as a slate, so really appreciate it if everyone was on board and signing up. In addition to our year, I'm also working on an entrepreneurship expo. We want to bring out some business organizations on campus, as well as hopefully a notable speaker in the business world, kind of talk about entrepreneurship. We want to give a platform for students who already have their own businesses to talk about them, kind of advertise them, promote them. And we want to help those students who have those kind of businesses to better learn how to build up their business. In addition to that, I'm also working on the Highlander Hip Hop Festival. We've been having our meetings this week. We're trying to apply for a scholarship for ASPB to have some additional funds. It's kind of about going back to the political nature and the origins of hip hop, as well as giving students a platform to kind of show their craft and talents they have. I'm also working on a resolution specifically to support employees from the UC. There was recently a protest last week on the first day of school, where apparently there are employees at the UC University, as well as all UCY, who don't have contracts. We're currently kind of in a battle with the University Office of the President, and it's a very serious issue because they're trying to fight for more fair and equitable pay. And as I was conversating with them, it's just so daunting to see that this is still a problem in the UC system. And as we all know, these are the people who run some of the basic services that make our education possible. So that's kind of all I have. That's what I'm working on right now. If anyone wants to help me with any projects that I'm working on, I'm more than willing to help, reach out. Something that I did want to say, last quarter there was a plethora of student events that did happen. It would really be nice to have more ASUCR representation at those events. You know, we're supposed to be representative leaders. You know, for us to be there to show our face really means a lot. You know, just me coming to their protest with not a lot of people there, it meant a lot for them. You know, just to know the students support them. And I know we don't agree on every single issue that there is out there, but at least engaging with the community in a dialogue about those conversations is really important. And I'll hopefully highlight that later on today in the meeting. But that's all I have.
Thank you. Just for myself, I need an ASUCR plug here. Our year is tomorrow, and for tomorrow it'll be first years, and it'll be from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. You will be receiving a free sweatshirt or crew neck. That's the first time they're doing it this year, so for any first years that are watching or out there that would like to come, please do so. It'll be a really great event for you all to get to know one another as well, but also be able to pick up a free sweatshirt. Our year was something that was started in 2014, and it has since then became a UCR tradition in order for us to sort of give back to the student body as well. Any questions or comments on Shani's report, Senator Cole's report?
There are a lot of volunteer hours.
Just like give me the range.
So the first volunteer shift is in the morning at 9:30 when we're picking up the shirts. We need like 20 people. We only have 15 right now, so we're trying to get more people there. And then we have, that kind of shift goes on until like 10 or 10:30 because we're also bringing the shirts back to the old SRC gym. The shifts start later on at like 5:30 because that's when we're opening. We'll start at 5, so that's when we're preparing to set up and everything for the actual opening. It goes from 5:30 to 8. So we'll have people doing line control, we'll have people doing scanners, we'll have people monitoring our social media and whatnot, taking pictures of the photo booth, interacting with our DJ, and then we're going to do cleanup after 8 o'clock. And hopefully, if we're all there, we can finish it before like 10 or so.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes?
How do we sign up for volunteering?
There was an email that was sent out to all the senators, but I can also share it to you again. It's a Google form, and you just sign it and just put it in the time available. And we can talk about that after the meeting too. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? No. Moving on to our next senator, Senator Chen.
Hi everyone. I don't really have a long report, but sorry, I'm just going through my thoughts. Myself, Senator Enzuribe, and Senator Nkosi are gonna start meeting up. We already started speaking to a couple of program coordinators in regards to the undergrad, and we kind of want to make it different this year, where participants don't have to be completely in their undergarments in order to participate. Rather, they can be fully clothed if they feel more comfortable. The most important part is to promote positive body image. And in addition, there's some updates on the umbrella program, which I believe Senator Bannon and Zuri will talk about.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? No, thank you so much. Moving on to Senator Ira.
Hi everyone, good to be back. My report's going to be a little lengthy, but bear with me. There's a few things I'm working on. One of the biggest issues I'm focusing on currently is parking, and the issue of parking on campus. So I'm very happy to, or pleased to share that this quarter, after a whole quarter of negotiations with CAPS, they have opened a free parking lot. Basically, it's a little far from campus. It's at the Hunter Park Metro Station, but it's absolutely free. It's about 150 to 300 spots, and there's an RTA bus that has a route from there that brings students to campus. And of course, as you guys know, UCR students ride RTA buses for free. So there's a lot of back and forth going on. I just want to reassure you guys that TAPS actually is working really hard to meet our demands. It's just very tough because they're kind of the 2020 plan kind of is a large plan. It's hard to fit into it as well, and they have a lot of like higher things that they need to meet as well, demands from the campus and administration and so on and so forth. So they're working really hard. There's also been a lot of outreach to parking lots in the area, for instance, for the Newman Center or the Catholic Church right here. I mean, they went as far as the Archdiocese, which is basically like a very high figure in their denomination. So, but it's kind of hard to agree with that because, well, for them to really give us parking spots because they use those parking lots themselves. And having a huge amount of college students there day in and day out kind of is disruptive. Also, I'm working on expanding the point-to-point shuttle because currently we only have one vehicle and it's a 6-person vehicle. So we have students waiting, long times at night. Sometimes it's cold, and so on and so forth. So it's not. I'm working on expanding it to possibly 2 vehicles. The TAPS director, who I'm in conversation with, and Senator Lee has been at those meetings too. She's basically, the concern is that they have to hire a Class B driver, have another vehicle, which is all additional funding. So until that gets approved, it's going to take a while, but we're pushing for that. And also, we've made some smaller pushes for better accessibility for point-to-point shuttle. Currently, there's no notification system or anything like that to let people know how long it's going to be till the next shuttle comes through. So we're working on having maybe a small, simple app where it shows people when the point-to-point shuttle is next arriving or what time it stops working and so on and so forth. I'm also working on getting the budget for TAPS published and easy to decipher and understand for all UCR students so they know where their money's going. So all the money that you pay for permits and so on and so forth, you can see how it's delegated and where that money is going to. Actually, TAPS has just a small side note. TAPS has put off raising permits. They're supposed to be raising it by 6.3% every year for the next 5 years. They've actually deferred that twice. So for people, complaining about permit rates and stuff, I hear you. I don't like paying the permit rates myself, but compared to the other UCs, they're quite low, and they have been trying to, meet our needs and try to limit the amount that they would raise on permits. So when I started meeting with TAPS this quarter or last quarter, there was no committee. It had been canceled because it was ineffective. So we're going to restart that committee this quarter to get more students and faculty involved and have everyone's concerns kind of represented. Lot 50 will be opening up too, which is near the Highlander, I forgot what it's called. It's basically near the International Student Center. So that'll be like a regular lot. It's just been kind of delayed because of construction. And Senator Lee is working on a program called Mechanical Assistance Program, I believe. Motor Assistance Program. Basically, it's a program that exists in some way, shape, or form on a lot of other UC campuses, which basically provides like a free gallon of gas to get you to the nearest gas station if you run out of gas on campus, a jump start if your car goes out, and it's a free service provided and funded through,
30 seconds.
permits of, does anyone want to?
I move to extend time by 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So yeah, we're working on that too. So that's just kind of parking. Also another thing that, a big thing that I'm bringing, I guess next week is the Senate Accessibility and Transparency Act. And also Senator Lee will be presenting an Accountability Act. Basically, as I'm sure we're all aware, the student population there's been an aggressive growth of student population. We're getting a lot more new students in, and that's going to continue. It's a trend that's going to continue. And as we get more and more students and sort of the demographics and the scope, the size of our campus changes, the demands and the needs of students are going to change too. And as elected representatives, it's important that we were elected to represent these people. We have a job to do, so it's important that ASUCR adapts to meet this change and kind of figures out where it fits in the scope of representing students. Because now we have issues with housing and parking and services on campus and expanding different resources that are available to students. And it's important that we get a jump start in it now, otherwise we're going to be swamped by the time more and more students get here. So the Senate Accessibility and Transparency Act is basically, a lot of it is original, but a lot of it also revised and updated the Chapter 10 Senate Outreach in the bylaws and Chapter 32 the Transparency Act in the bylaws, with edits made to encompass the changing scope of ASUCR and to provide undergraduate students with an unadulterated view of ongoing Senate discussions, projects. It introduces new sections governing transparency of Senate admin meetings, campus accountability, and swarm, among other things. So just a brief breakdown of what this bill includes so everyone is on the same page. This bill is going to bring in a new program so why I had everyone keep their hands up is because I think it would be amazing if we started publishing how senators vote on bills and resolutions and make that readily available to students on our website. I think it's important to be accountable and show people how we think or how we vote on a certain issue. So far, we're going to roll that out, I think, only for bills and resolutions, and we can expand that to like budget and GCAP and other things in the future, but I think we should start small and kind of work our way up. This will also require for senators who meet with admin for any reason to publish a brief report of their meeting on our website. So currently, let's say I met with Vice Chancellor Sandoval or Chancellor Wilcox or so on and so forth. It's expected, and I'm hoping that you guys are taking notes during those meetings to have something to report back to. But basically, we would be bringing these notes and we would be publishing them in a condensed form on our website so students can know what ASUCR senators are working on and what we're up to. Another thing this act introduces is the transfer of power procedures for senators. Currently, that doesn't exist. So each new year of senators comes in not knowing what to expect, not having any idea of who to reach out to, and so on and so forth. So this would mandate us to present a handbook prior to elections results being released. So it would be non-politicized and just in good faith. And we would be presenting this handbook including contact lists, projects we worked on as individuals, and best practices so the next senator can serve the student population just as well as you did. And lastly, this bill concerns tabling, organization cluster attendance, and general interaction with campus. Senator Cole made a great point earlier, is when we show up, people notice, people appreciate that, and it brings us closer to our constituents, which is what we should be doing on a daily basis anyways. But this would be, the outreach part of this bill would include SWARM, which is a program that, Serving with a Real Mission, which is BTCIA's BOSIN's initiative. It would make it part of our duties. And in the past, we've had an issue with senators not, I just need another minute.
Oh.
Is that what it's done?
It's fine, just go.
Okay, thank you. In the past, we've had an issue with senators not knowing or not being aware of what their job duties are because the bylaws are pretty long-winded and very complicated and not very interesting to read. So Senator Lee and I will be putting out an easy breakdown of what we're responsible for, basically like a checklist of what senators are required to do, what is expected of us, and dates by which we need, and deadlines by which we need to meet these requirements in order to get our stipends. So it'll make it very easy for both the students, which they'll have easy access to us and understand what we're doing, and a lot easier for us because one, we'll be doing all of our job requirements accordingly, and it'll be a lot easier for us to understand what we're required to do in the first place. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes. Senator.
Question. Did you hear that at UC Davis they have a fleet, kind of back into your parking, in your private parking? They have a complete fleet of student drivers with Class B licenses. So we could possibly start a program where students are kind of hired by TAPS to kind of get that license and then working for TAPS by driving the vehicles. That's something that the TAPS director spoke to me about, and I don't know if she has mentioned it to you. That hasn't been happening.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. We actually talked about that. The thing is, it's kind of a liability issue. So that is a possible avenue that we might pursue in the future, but I think for now she's more interested in having like a full-time sort of adult with a Class B license and all of that stuff because less liability for that. But I'll definitely bring that option up because that's something I suggested too.
And it's already being done. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Senator Young?
To address that, that's something, if you're going through a project and shop is working on it, so that's gonna be a big part of it. Hopefully it's going to do this, but we're working on it.
Awesome.
I have one more question too. You talked about like the kind of changing the campus structure, the communities and stuff like that, and the issue of representation amongst that. Can you further expand on that, or just explain that more?
Right, so what I'm saying is our population is going to rapidly expand in the next couple of years, or in the next few years, and it's going to keep expanding, which is great. But there has to be an infrastructure in place to meet that as well. Now, while we can't directly change how the campus or the admin is going to build their infrastructure, we can definitely work on our end to make sure we're still representing all the students, we're reaching out even more than we usually did. We are expanding the resources that we have available. Because out of all of the ASs in the different UCs, by the scope of the services and programs we provide, we're kind of on the smaller side. And I would hope, or I guess my vision, if you will, for ASUCR is that one day we grow to that scope, where we have our own source of financing, we have extra services we provide like UC Berkeley and UCLA do, and so on and so forth. And students know that they have somewhere to go for those resources as well. Lately, our marketing and our outreach could use some work, and it's something we'll be working on throughout this quarter and next quarter, I think. Most people aren't aware of the programs we provide for them even after they've been provided. I still have people finding out that the TAPS, the bike share program is a thing, although it's been on campus for a while. Even walking by it, they'll just ask, oh, what is that? And then never get an answer. So I think it's important that we make sure students know what we're doing for them, but also receive input, because we hardly ever, or we don't talk to them as much as we should, and I think it's important to keep those lines of communication open. So, I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely.
Senator Yvonne, do you have a question? Any other questions or comments? If not, thank you so much, Senator Ara. We'll be moving on to our next person, Senator Enzaribe.
As of right now, the umbrella program was supposed to be here as a bike start. The Shafi there was a discrepancy on Shafi's end.
coffee or bagels or something, and students can talk about issues with us in a setting where they're comfortable with, so they can get to understand what we're doing. And sometimes at the GSA, they do little presentations on things they've been working about, so I think that'd be a really effective form of outreach, so I'm working on making that happen pretty soon.
Thank you. Any questions? Yes.
Not a question, but a comment. Remember we talked about this at the student meeting. Currently, we're creating that very same program called the Fireside Chats, where we kind of talk to students like you're saying. We're creating the marketing and promotions for that program right now. I'd love to talk to you more about it. We also want to expand it specifically like rent out rooms in the first year dormitories and have a presentation there and speak there, which is definitely in the realm of my control. So going to Lothian, definitely going to A&I and speaking there about what we're doing. It's going to where the residents live or first year students live, just to kind of meet them in a conversation.
Reach out to them, yeah, that's awesome. That's wonderful.
So to sort of Senator Ansari.
Back to the mic share thing, I think it would be great to go out and advertise with the freshmen, because I think in order to pass that approach to the freshmen, I think it'd be easy to just kind of get it out there.
Agreed. We'll be talking to our marketing director for that. But just to really quickly clarify as well, the reason why we ask for all of your class schedules is because I think it'd be really productive to have 1 hour that you all share together in the office, just because it's hard to get stuff done when you all are, have all the different office hour schedules and it's hard to meet up. So the reason why we're doing that is we're just seeing that there's an hour that we can all be there, as well as the cabinet director, so as a whole entire office be present, just so that we can work on different things. At the very least, if we don't have an hour that we can all be together, that you and your specific colleges have an hour together. So that's something that our office will be working on based off your class schedule, and we'll be asking you all if that's okay once we have everything laid out and ready to go. Are there any questions on that? Are you excited for that? I think that'd be really awesome. Other than that, thank you so much, Senator Young. We'll be moving on to our next senator, Senator Moore.
Hi. Okay, so what I've been working on lately, or I'm starting to work on a new resolution. A lot of CNAS classes, some professors, they assign seat you based on the first midterm grade that you got. So people with the highest midterm grade would be seated in the back to prevent cheating, and the people that with the lowest midterm grade would be seated in the front. So I'm working on a resolution that will work against that, because there is something on FERPA where you can't publicize or in any way, shape, or form publicize what students want. I'm sorry. I can't. I smile. Sorry. Yeah. And other than that, so I'm working on that resolution, and you guys will see it next week or the week after. Also, I'm working on a Women in STEM Expo with Senator Cole over here. So we want to get women alumni that are in high places right now, or that have been in that work in STEM now, and how they got there, what they did at ASUCR, and I'm really excited to work with Senator Cole, because that's something that I love and I admire. Also, with my Senate interns, Andrea and Samantha, we're working on a little project with HPAC to extend HPAC. We believe that the retention rate for CNAS students is pretty high, and we want to keep that, we want to reduce that. And so one way is a mentorship program, and since CNAS already has a mentorship program, HPAC is looking to expand it in certain ways with more initiative for upperclassmen to become mentors. So we're looking at that. And then also I'm on the SHAC committee, which is a student health advisory committee. And on January 26th, the UC SHIP, so your student insurance, they're gonna come and we're gonna talk to them also with EVP and Bo. They're gonna be there, and they're talking about getting a student survey out here, so we can know or they can know what students feel about UC SHIP, if it's too expensive, if it works properly. And if you guys have any questions when UC SHIP does come, that I can ask for them, your guys' maybe what's the word? What's the word? Never mind. What do you guys don't like about
Recommendations.
recommendations? Sorry, recommendations for UC SHIP. That is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions to that? You're fine. Thank you so much. Moving on to our last senator, Senator Levon.
So, physical plant started, construction on the hydration station. I don't know when it'll be completed. Whether or not I make another one, I don't know. An idea that I wanted to do through GCAP is to build, well, I guess to backtrack, one of the projects that GCAP has funded is Hustle, which is to use recycled plastic and other biodegradable materials to make boards of wood. And a great way to utilize the project that we funded is to use the wood and build benches. And I would like to like build those benches and sprinkle them around campus. Of course, there's of course, there's a lot of things that have to go through, probably campus grounds and this and another thing, but it's a project that I want to pursue. Beyond that, LRC, me and my interns are going to work on, or we are working on bylaw information. The last committee I'm a part of is courses committee. We met once this month. We'll have 3 more meetings this quarter to discuss prerequisites and how credits are distributed in classes. Let's see. So tomorrow for our gear, I'm driving the U-Haul.
Hey.
Wish me luck.
I'll be running for you.
And next week, me and Nicole will be meeting with the BCOE dean to discuss what we can serve the students for this upcoming quarter. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Looking forward to hearing from that. Any other questions, comments? No? If not, I'm just going to give you all a quick update on who will be reporting next week, so you all are aware. Next week is a State of the Association meeting, and for CHAS, we will have Senator Jimenez that will be presenting on behalf of CHAS. For CNAS, it will be Senator Moore, and then for PCOE, it will be Senator DeVon. So please do send in your reports on time. Please do ask your fellow other senators what they would like to report on so that you all can give a quick update on behalf of your specific college. Other than that, though, we will move on to the next item on the agenda. If you all have a question, yes?
Actually, is it possible in the future to utilize the projector for our presentation?
Of course. If you have a PowerPoint, if you have something that you want to do, please just turn it in on time. So I would suggest that you turn it in along with your Senate report so that both the Senate Secretary and the parliamentarian has it on hand so we don't have to waste time here, so we can have it ready. Okay? That's a great question. Monday at 6 p.m. Awesome. Moving on to the next item of the agenda, which is new business at this time. Are there any new business to discuss? Okay, so we'll move on to public comment at this time. This is for the gallery. If you would like to address anything that was discussed during this meeting today, this is your chance to ask further questions, comments, concerns, ideas, anything. Yes, of course.
Yeah. My name and everything, or?
It's okay.
Okay. So, hello everyone, Shane Cole, I'm sitting over there. Something that I just wanted to kind of make a real point in this meeting is just kind of our representation within the community. I've been speaking to a lot of people in like the cultural centers and like classmates, and sometimes they feel like they're not always being accurately represented. Specifically, I know there's unity hours that are happening every Wednesday, I believe from 12 to 1. There was a student who specifically told me that ASUCR centers need to be there. And I definitely agree because, you know, we need to further outreach within the community and make sure people know who we are and what we want to do. I feel like that's the best way for us to start creating our programs, creating our initiatives and legislation. With that, we need to like specifically go out to people and like talk to them about the issues. And I feel like people are already trying to reach out with us. So yeah, there's that. And something that I wanted to leave with you that a student said to me earlier last quarter is that if we can't change things in our university, how do we think that we can change things in the actual real world? You know, so I just really want us to make this quarter, our quarter where ASUCR is really connecting the community, really bridging that gap, because, you know, before you know it, you know, it's going to be spring quarter, it's going to be all over. So we're running out of time, and I really want us to utilize this quarter specifically, you know, to get all of our programs, all our initiatives, all our legislations done. So that's all I have to say. So I believe it's on a rotating basis. Today it was in the LGBTQ2 Research Center. But, sorry, I messed that up. I know it's switching every week, and maybe some of our students can share that information with us.
Yes.
So I manage the LGBT Resource Center's social media. Every week I've been putting up when the Unity Hour is and where it's going to be held, and there's a graphic and it has every week where it will be held, and it's on Wednesdays from noon to 1 p.m. There's often free for
Thank you.
Yes, Senator Ara? Yeah. You all can address on the horseshoe as well.
No, this is cool.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm just gonna keep this brief, I promise. So basically, going off sort of what Shane said and also what we were talking about a little earlier, one of the things I think is completely underutilized in ASUCR is our Senate intern program and our first year fellows. Senator Lee and I welcome anyone else who wants to join in and help us. We're working this year on expanding and kind of making that program a permanent fixture of ASUCR. I realize that everyone is incredibly busy, and I realize that everyone has a lot of projects and a lot of other things going on. Bless you. But this gives an opportunity for first years and students who are interested in ASUCR to get a hands-on experience on the work, to learn something from you along the way, and to develop a bond with a mentor. So I encourage everyone, Senator Lee and I will be working on that throughout this quarter, and I really hope we can make the program already kind of established this quarter. I encourage you to reach out to your Senate interns, to have regular meetings with them, to let them take charge on some of your projects. Start them off small and kind of grow bigger. Give them, make them feel like they're actually learning and getting something out of the program. Please don't, if you got interns, please make sure you use them and not just grab coffee or anything like that. Make sure you're putting them on task and giving them something they can really get out of the process. I mean, ideally these will be the people that go on to run for ASUCR and that go on to represent the students here at the school. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to us, either me or Senator Lee, and we'll be happy to help you with that. And we'll definitely be setting up intern meetings, trainings, and so on and so forth this quarter. So make sure you encourage your interns to go to that and get something out of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Did you have a question, Senator Young? No? Thank you. Just to make something clear, your Senate interns and your first year fellows are not for you to utilize to buy food or bring coffee, etc. They're here for an experience, so please do treat them that way. They are mentees and you are their mentors, so please do utilize their time well and respect them as well. Yes?
I'd just like to say I don't think any senator has ever done that, so.
It has occurred in the past though, so, yeah, but so, just to, not saying that you all are doing it, but just to clarify, just for in case. Thank you so much. Any other comments? No? Okay, moving on to roundtables and announcements. We will begin on this side with Senator Enzaribe. If you have any announcements regarding any other organizations you may be part of or any other fun events on campus that you know of, please do let us know at this time. If not, you can say pass. Sorry.
You guys should support the girls' basketball team. I'm sad. I know I go to their games. Have boys' games right after. Those games can be packed. The girls' games are pretty empty. And they televise sometimes too, which is pretty disgusting and gross. So we should all do a better job supporting the athletes. And they win games too. They won our championship and won national games. It's sad. That's it.
Thank you.
Sorry, I forgot to talk about this earlier. Something I think is really important for ASUCR to do is to take credit for its victories. We actually launched a project, I believe it was last week, the GCAP tote bag initiative. So we gave out free UCR tote bags to promote GCAP for specifically on campus. It was one of the main things that GCAP is doing this quarter. Also, I started a project called kind of like office hours photo shoot. We're taking pictures of like us in the office, all the professional like pictures. We're posting our office hours and we're putting on our social media just so more people know about like when your office hours are. So,
Thank you.
Yeah, if you want to participate, please let me know.
Senator Chen?
There's engineering exam after tomorrow.
What time? Where?
I think it's at 11, and you can leave at 11.
Okay. Yes, Senator.
He reminded me that for second and third years, there's this thing called Escape. It's not a rave. It's this expo for CNAS students where alumni will tell us how to get research, like jobs other than like in medicine but within like the science field. And like I find it to be like a very good resource for CNAS students, and I strongly recommend to attend if you can. And it's this Saturday from 9:30 to 4:30, 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 in the hub, and you must RSVP, and I strongly recommend to do that because it's a great resource for CNAS students. Yeah.
Senator Limon?
This past weekend, I saw director Angelica Tan perform.
Oh, where?
It was a Circle K event for K-Rock. Yeah, she sang like 2 Broadway like musical songs. She was really good. So I don't know.
She's fairly strong.
She seems like very happy for herself.
No, she's good. She said she performed at our here.
Yeah, she's performing tomorrow, I believe. Pretty sure.
Check her out.
I hear.
Thank you. Senator, President Pro Tem Lee?
I'd like to say that my curriculum rental program that started actually was initiated last year, almost a year now, as a last freshman, finally launched this quarter, and I think it's all checked out in the first or second year.
Yay!
I'm looking to expand it, so
He also heard people talking about it in his class, and someone else was like, sorry, it's already out. Just a quick reminder, if you have not sent in your class schedules, aka Senator Chen.
I just sent it.
You sent it? Okay, thank you so much. Senator Enzaribe, send in class schedule, please. And then Senator Young. So please send in your class schedule so we can get that figured out. Yes, to her. So it's Brianna, so BPERE014. Please check your emails. She sent you all a bunch of emails. You'll definitely find it in there. So please send in your class schedules. If you have not submitted your office hours, please do so as well. And if not, you all will be hearing from my office shortly. So, very excited for this. Yes, Pat.
Hey guys, I missed this in the ex officio report and in the public comment, but representing IFC, the fraternities are having Rush very soon. So this Friday, Friday and Saturday, there's going to be info nights at the Bear Cave from 7 to 9. If you want to check out, different fraternities, you should if you're interested, or if you just want to kick it, ask some questions. And then Rush Week will be the next week. So if anybody has questions about that, please hit me up. Thanks.
Thank you.
Just like Jamie said, for those of senators that haven't signed up for our year, please sign up. We only have 8, and this was something we ran was on our platform, so please sign up. That's it.
Should we call them out?
Ooh, good.
Give them time tonight, if need be. I will see you all tomorrow. Yes, Senator Cortez Hernandez. Tell us about Botanical Gardens.
Yes, I was actually going to. I encourage everyone to go check it out. We still have good weather.
It was so beautiful.
So we just received a lot of rain. We're still not out of the drought, FYI, but our gardens look phenomenal right now. They're very green and very blooming, so please come visit. It's free entrance, parking's only $1 an hour, super close to campus, and sometimes I'm there too, so.
What's the next succulent thing?
So we have a plant sale coming up in April 8th, I believe.
Is that for the week?
No, it's a 2-day event, and we will have a lot of succulents there. I personally bought 2 of them, and they're still alive, so I'm pretty proud. So I encourage everyone to try to.
still do like movement tours?
Twilight tours?
Twilight tours.
Yeah, we do. Those will be coming back shortly. It's just, all of our tour guides are volunteers, so we can't overuse them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
Is it open on the weekends? Can you give us the hours?
Oh yeah, so it's open, thank you for asking. It's open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're only closed on 5 days a year for major holidays.
That's awesome.
Yeah. 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for 7 days a week.
Thank you. So moving on to the next item on the agenda, just before we adjourn, we do have executive session. It will be 5 minutes, I promise. So please do stay. For adjournment wise, can I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? Thank you, Senator Cortez Hernandez. Can I get a second? Second by Senator Young. The meeting is adjourned at 7:27 p.m. on Wednesday, January 18, 2017. Oh. It's okay. Is there anyone that opposes?
Oh, no.
Oh, if not, good. Thank you.
Are they putting on,
Yeah, let's do it really fast so we can